His angels and His revelations and His apostles and the last day has indeed gone far astray. And this is the culture we live in today. The dominant culture, they have absolutely no use. Well, some of them believe in God, although the conception again is not there. And then, how about angels? And it's all now, anything you read here or anywhere else, you know, all of these are myths. They don't exist. These revelations, this, you know, Western secular education doesn't believe in revealed knowledge. Knowledge is what humans generate. And His apostles, the prophets of Allah, so they don't believe in the revelation, they don't believe in that Allah sent messengers, and forget about the last day. You know, life will come to an end, and that's it. One of these days, a comet will hit the earth, and you'll explode, and that's it. That's what they believe. But the Qur'an says, for those who don't believe in those things, they have gone far astray. It's far from the truth. I want to end this with, and we will talk about other things, but there are two very inclusive verses that I would like to share with you about belief and how the Muslims are, the Qur'an teaches the Muslims to be inclusive, not exclusive. So we embrace all of those people, all the revelations that came before us, and the good that's in them. Some of that was not preserved, but some of it was preserved. You will see it. Some of the people who follow those revelations are not good, some of them are good. And you will see that. And so that inclusiveness is in the Qur'an in a number of places. In this Surah Shura, chapter 42, verses 13 to 15, شرع لكم من الدين ما وصى به نوحا والذي أوحينا إليك وما وصينا به إبراهيم وموسى وعيسى أن أقيموا الدين ولا تتفرقوا فيه كبر على المشركين ما تدعوهم إليه الله يجتبي إليه من يشاء ويهدي إليه من ينيب. In matters of faith, Allah has ordained for you that which He has enjoined upon Noah, unto which we gave thee Muhammad والسلام, insight through revelation, as well as that which we had enjoined upon Abraham and Musa, Ibrahim and Musa and Isa, Jesus. Steadfastly uphold the true faith and do not break up your unity therein. And even though that unity of faith to which you call them appears oppressive to those who are wont to ascribe to other beings or forces a share in Allah's divinity, Allah draws unto Himself everyone who is willing. Allah draws unto Himself everyone who is willing and guides unto Himself everyone who turns unto Him. And then it continues, وَمَا تَفَرَّقُوا إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَهُمُ الْعِلْمُ بَغْيًا بَيْنَهُمْ وَلَوْلَا كَلِمَةٌ سَبَقَتْ مِنْ رَبِّكَ إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُسَمًّى لَقُضِيَ بَيْنَهُمْ وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ أُورِثُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ بَعْدِهِمْ لَفِي شَكٍّ مِنْهُ مُرِيبٍ. As for the followers of earlier revelation, they broke up their unity out of mutual jealousy, only after they had come to know the truth. And had it not been for a decree that had already gone forth from your Lord, postponing no decisions until a term set by Him, all would indeed have been decided between them from the outset. As it is, behold, they who have inherited their books from those who preceded them are now in grave doubt. Anybody who reads anything about the Bible these days and how it's studied, you will see this clearly, that they are in grave doubt about what's in there. A grave doubt amounting to suspicion about what it portends. And so this is the last verse. This is the verse that I wanted to emphasize. فَلِذَلِكَ فَادْعُ وَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتَ وَلَا تَتَّبِعْ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ وَقُلْ آمَنْتُ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ مِنْ كِتَابٍ وَأُمِرْتُ لِأَعْدِلَ بَيْنَكُمْ اللَّهُ رَبُّنَا وَرَبُّكُمْ لَنَا أَعْمَالُنَا وَلَكُمْ أَعْمَالُكُمْ لَا حُجَّةَ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ اللَّهُ يَجْمَعُ بَيْنَنَا وَإِلَيْهِ الْمَصِيرُ. This is amazing. This is so inclusive. وأمرت لأعدل بينكم الله ربنا ولنا أعمالنا وقل آمنت بما أنزل الله من كتاب. قل آمنت بما أنزل الله من كتاب وأمرت لأعدل بينكم الله ربنا وربكم لنا أعمالنا ولكم أعمالكم لا حجة بيننا وبينكم الله يجمع بيننا وإليه المصير. I mean, if you just contemplate this verse, it's just, this is just unbelievable. Because of this, it continues the thought before that. And this is again, Allah is addressing the Prophet ﷺ, and how he should deal with the people of the book, those who received revelation before him. Because of this, then summon all mankind and pursue the right course, as you have been bidden by Allah. And do not follow their likes and dislikes. Do not follow their whims. But say, I believe, and this is what we're supposed to say, following the Prophet's example, ﷺ. I believe in whatever revelation Allah has bestowed from on high. Whatever revelation Allah has sent down, I believe in it. And I am bidden to bring about equity in your mutual views, and to bring about justice. God, Allah is our Lord as well as your Lord. To us shall we be accounted our deeds, and to you your deeds. So it's like lakum dinukum waliya din. You will account your deeds to Allah, and we will account our deeds to Allah. Let there be no contention between us and you. There shouldn't be any contention. Allah will bring us all together, for with Him is all journeys end. We will all end up with Allah. This is just beautiful. There's nothing like this anywhere, where you are inclusive, that we're all believers in Allah. You have your deeds, Allah will judge you. We have our deeds, Allah will judge us, and He will all bring us back to Him. We'll all go back to Him. And then there's this one that we need to remind ourselves often, since we live in a Christian country and we have to deal with Christians all the time, and we deal with them. And there's no way you can avoid debating and discussing religion. It's one of of course, religion and politics are one of the popular topics that people talk about. But this is the guidance that the Qur'an gives us about the belief system and how we're supposed to approach and say to those people who have received revelation before us. وَلَا تُجَادِلُوا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنْهُمْ وَقُولُوا آمَنَّا بِالَّذِي أُنزِلَ إِلَيْنَا وَأُنزِلَ إِلَيْكُمْ وَإِلَٰهُنَا وَإِلَٰهُكُمْ وَاحِدٌ وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ. It's very similar to the verse before that, but it says, do not argue with the followers of the earlier revelation, otherwise than in a most kindly manner. This is very important. So if you are discussing things, discuss with them in a kindly manner, unless it be as such of them as are bent of ill doing. Of course, if somebody is out to get you, you defend yourself. So it says, but say, this is what we're saying, we believe in that which has been bestowed from on high upon us, meaning what was revealed to us by Allah, and we, as well as that which has been revealed to you, what was sent to you. So we believe in what was sent to us, we believe in what was sent to you, and our God and your God is one and the same. I remember one time we were in a panel discussion, and we were, it was not a panel discussion. The mayor of the city before, not this one, there was a mayor who got into the habit of inviting the religious community for a prayer breakfast. And so he invited everybody, and I went there, and we shared prayers, breakfast and prayers, and then there were, of course, extremist groups that were not represented, who decided not to come, who don't believe in it, who don't recognize, because to them it's like it's recognizing other belief systems that could be right. They don't want that. They don't want to associate with that. So they didn't come. The extremists, some of the evangelical community. They didn't show up. But then one of them wrote a letter to the Herald Times, and where he specifically mentions the Muslims, and he says, you know, they don't believe in the same God that we do. Why do we have to, you know, incorporate them or something like that? So in response, I sent him this verse, which the Herald Times published also, because this is so inclusive. It rejects his attitude, his negative attitude is that you have your own God, and we have our own God. Where did that come from? I don't know. But see, the verse says, وَإِلَهُنَا وَإِلَهُكُمْ وَاحِدٌ وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ. That your Lord and our Lord is the same one. Our Creator, your Creator, is the same one. And it's unto Him that we surrender ourselves. وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ. Meaning we surrender ourselves unto Him. So this is the inclusivity that the Qur'an teaches about other belief systems and our belief and how we incorporate them. Incorporating them in the sense of that we are the ones who are central, who are in the middle, and we know that they receive revelation. We know that certain things were not preserved, but at the same time, we don't want to push them away. We want to bring them forward. We want to bring them closer to us. Of course, one belief system that I didn't refer to because it's so controversial and so misunderstood is the concept of al-qada al-qadar, or predestination, fate, fatalism. And this is, I think it's so deep and there are so many takes to it that maybe we will discuss it separately by itself. And we can refer to, the basic concept is that, and again, you could understand it in a number of ways, and you can abuse it also. You know, the way we use inshallah as an excuse not to do things, that's an abuse. You know, we say, although you're not going to show up, oh inshallah, you know, are you going to come? Inshallah, you know, Allah willing. That's abuse. But the concept itself, that everything is willed by Allah, everything is in Allah's control, and Allah's knowledge, and that nothing happens without His knowledge and control. Nothing happens. Khayri wa sharri, that's what the hadith says. The Prophet ﷺ, so good or bad, it's all from Allah. Now that, of course, there are all kinds of sects that went astray because of the discussions that went between people a long time ago. But the mainstream Muslims always believe that, despite the fact that we have that Allah has given us free will, that we decide that was given to us. We either those who are willing will believe, and those who don't want to believe, let them not believe. That's the free will that Allah has given us. But at the same time, Allah is in total control. So there clearly is a point where things that happen around us we have no control over. But we have control over certain things. So it's not like fatalism where, you know, we have absolutely nothing to do with it. Things just happen and you're just flowing with the... there are people who believe that. And of course, in the West, the way they attribute Muslims, fatalism to Muslims, and you see them in the way they talk about it, that Muslims are fatalist. That Muslims believe that, you know, inshallah. Of course, that's not... it's a caricature of what we believe in. It's kind of cartoonish way of saying, and of course the Muslims never behave that way. You know, no Muslim is sitting there saying, I'm going to wait until something comes from this guy. But the way the West usually addresses fatalism in the Muslim world, that's how it, the most interesting thing that I came across in terms, it was a novel, but it shows you how they think about the Muslim belief of predestination. To me personally, predestination means you don't cry over spilled milk. Basically, if something bad happens, it was supposed to happen. nobody dies before its term. You know, when I came to this country, it's very common for people to say somebody died prematurely. You know, they died prematurely. You know, a teenager dies in a car accident, and the family cries and they say, and in the Muslim belief, no, it was meant to happen that way. You cannot really cry with spilled milk. The incident I was referring to is that when the Russians were expanding, you know, whereas the rest of the Europe went to Africa and Asia to grab colonies, and the Russians were just expanding southwards. Unfortunately, it happened to the Muslim lands. They were expanding into Chechnya, and there are a lot of novels, Russian books are about that area in the 19th century and the 18th century when they were doing when they were making all those conquests, and they came, they encountered the Muslim belief system. The way to them was like a Russian roulette. They would say, you know, the Muslim belief is, you guys are familiar with Russian roulette? Yeah, so you do Russian roulette, and if you're not destined to die, you're not going to die. Is that how our belief system is? You know, you put a gun to your temple, you put one bullet in a revolver, then you revolve it, and then put it in your gun. See, that's the caricature of our belief, and that's not, of course, that's not what we believe in. Although, in talking to people, you know, simple people, people who are uneducated, they may behave in a way or say things that could be construed to mean that way. So we will stop here. The adhan, it's time to make adhan. And if there are any questions and thoughts that you guys would like to share, this is the time, or maybe we should make the adhan first. Is it time? Assalamu alaikum wa Umar. Welcome. We came the very last day before classes start. It shows how much you like Egypt and how much you don't like here.
Well, I came until almost last day of Ramadan.
Are we going to make adhan first?